Your fourth show is going to be dramatically better than your first. I know this sounds crazy and it sounds obvious, but I make this tip to get people over their fear. This is a learning experience. You'll figure out what works best for you by experimenting, tweaking, and doing. You don't get to the fourth show without doing the first three. Stop worrying about it and start doing it. And with that, just do your best. Don't get hung up on the technology you may or may not have. Concentrate on your content. Content is king. Do what you do best. If you're a teacher, teach and connect with kids. If you're a preacher, preach and guide your followers. The rest will fall in place as you become more comfortable and creative. Believe in yourself and the message you're trying to send, and your authenticity will engage your audience as you figure this out. I can't stress that enough. Live streaming video comes across as being so much more authentic than pre-canned scripted videos or articles you write. There's something about being in front of that screen, looking at people and talking directly to them. And that's where the authenticity of live streaming comes through. And you know what? Before you know it, you'll not only be creating fantastic live streams, you may even be having fun doing it. So once again, tip number one, your fourth show is going to be dramatically better than your first. Let's go to Video Guys rule number 2 of live streaming. And this one's real important, guys, and that is we see with our ears and audio is so important. If your audio is choppy, garbled, or out of sync, you'll lose your audience. Some folks won't put up with voices that sound mechanical either. So my 3 most important tips with audio: number 1, use an external mic whenever possible. You'll be amazed how much better an inexpensive wired lapel sounds versus a built-in mic of your laptop, smartphone, or webcam. I want to try to show you guys what I'm using for this show, and I hope it doesn't create problems, but we're using this boom microphone that we've had in our studio for quite some time. And then my next tip is test your audio and your bandwidth. Not just how it sounds in the studio, but how it sounds listening to your stream on a mobile phone and desktop. And the third tip is that stream at lower video quality, protect your audio. We all want to stream out video at the highest video quality, but that takes up bandwidth. Knocking down your stream from 1080 to say 720 can have a dramatic impact on your audio quality, yet the difference in video quality is barely perceptible. So once again, folks, pay as much attention to your audio as you do to your video, and your audiences will stay and love your streams. Let's go to our third rule of live streaming. Great content beats great technology. And guys, we sell video technology. We'd love you to buy stuff from us. But the reality is your content is far more important than the technology you use. Think about your content and the best way to deliver it. Then work on finding a budget for the best way to produce it. In the meantime, use whatever budget and resources you have to get started. So what do I mean by that? Let's think about it. Your laptop's webcam may not be great, but it's super easy to use, built in, you've got that. Your smartphone is an insanely good video camera, much better quality than most webcams. Next up, using video cameras opens you up to far more possibilities, especially if you can have someone operate it during the show. I always recommend that you use a tripod, dolly, or gimbal to keep your video steady. But if you can have a cameraman in the room with you, your video is just going to look that much better. And then the fourth thing, PTZ cameras are robotic cameras that allow you to control the pan, tilt, and zoom remotely. So PTZ, pan, tilt, zoom remotely. Those are really cool. And my goal is to get a PTZ camera into my office over the next week or so if we keep doing the shows from here, so that I'm not on this webcam. I'd actually like to be back in the studio, but with no one to operate the show, if I'm on the show, the studio is not practical right now. I'm hoping Adam can come back next week. So we offer live streaming technology at every budget. We can help you decide what's the best approach to getting started and growing your capabilities. We know this because we use the gear we sell to produce our shows, as is proof of performance. Today's show being produced on a Wirecast Gear using Rendezvous remotely from Adam, who's about 15 miles away from here. Visit our website, email sales@videoguys.com, or give us a call. We'd be more than happy to work with you and help you find the gear that works best for your church, school, or corporation. Let's go to the fourth rule. Okay. The fourth rule of live streaming: record your show. People forget to do this. Don't forget to record your program so that you can edit it back later. Most streaming products allow you to record the output stream. So like Facebook and YouTube will keep the stream up there. You can also record it. But the ideal situation is you want to record it in full HD resolution versus the streaming solution you select. So that's what we do. We record our shows either to the internal hard drive of our TriCast or Wirecast Gear, or to one of those many different external hard drives that you see on that picture. If we can bring that picture up too, I want to talk about that, because one of the things that you want to do for best results is to record your ISO streams as well. And your ISO streams are the video from each camera and source you use in your show. So that's going to require a really fast drive. That's why the drives we're showing you are all external SSD drives that attach via USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 to your computer, so that you can get the fastest possible throughput, which will allow you to record all those ISO streams as well. Plus, these small drives are really portable. So if you need to take it from your studio to an editor or pass it off to them, it works very well to sneakernet. Even in these times in isolation, you can take the drive. If you have someone else who's your editor, you could drive it over to the editor's house, leave it on the front porch. They could pick up the drive. They could wipe it down with some, a Clorox wipe or what have you, plug it in and start editing. So we feel that, recording your show is important. And the real reason that it's so important to record your show is, can we go to Video Guys rule number 5? Good time for me to get a glass of water. Number 5. So I think we need the number 5 lower third there, Adam, if you could. All right. Rule number 5: edit your show down and post it for on-demand viewing. We have seen that while our live audience for our shows may be a few dozen people, we get hundreds of people who watch the show after it's shot, streaming it from Facebook where it lives, or watching our edited version that we put on YouTube. Now, why do we edit it down? Because let's face it, sometimes there's glitches or mistakes or goofs that happen in the show. Maybe a graphic came up that wasn't the right graphic. You can fix it in post. You can take care of it. You can tighten it up, and you can cut out any parts you didn't want. You can add voiceovers when needed, and you can add additional graphics. Remember, the goal here is to use post-production to make your show better to watch, to build your audience, to watch your live streams. And content is king. So we'll take this show and we'll probably break down each of the 5 tips into an individual tip to be an individual video we'll put on social media. Why? Because now we'll get more play. And I'm sorry for leading in. Now you get more play from the same video. So if you'll notice over our last few months, especially this year, anytime we do a live show, we try to cut out 2 or 3 subsections of that show to turn it into a post-produced shorter clip that really does well on Facebook or YouTube or social media. So that's really my tip for that, is the post-production is still an important part of live. So now what we're going to go into is we're going to leave our tips on generally working to go into how our live streaming technology tips and tricks. In this section, we'll focus more on the specific products we sell and technology we sell and how you can use it. And now I apologize because I'm going to be getting up and down a little bit for this. Adam, if you could take us full screen, I want folks to be able to see all the good stuff that's behind me. And now I'm going to wheel over here and I'm going to grab the first one. And anyone who's been watching our shows know we love this. This is the SlingStudio Hub. Guys, the SlingStudio Hub is far and away the easiest way to get going with multicam video production. It's a great unit allowing you to use both cameras, iOS devices, and Android devices as camera sources for your show. You control your show from an iPad or MacBook, switching between cameras, adding titles, graphics, transitions, and effects with ease. For $9.99, this is a fantastic way to get started on live streaming. Fantastic for churches, educators, and small corporate videos as well. There's also a lot of workflows that come out of this puppy that really go a long way. And one of them is you can record your videos to the internal drive, and then what you can do is bring it into Adobe Premiere, and it'll come in as a complete multicam video, which is such a cool feature. I just love that feature and felt it was important to talk about it. Now you'll see, if you had 3 cameras coming into this, all 3 of them on your timeline, plus your final show on the timeline, making editing a breeze. So SlingStudio, we've done numerous shows on it. I recommend it highly. And now I'm going to go get my next product to give a tip to. Wheeling back. Sorry about that. All right, Epiphan AVIO video captures, video converters. What these devices do is they attach to your computer, your laptop, your desktop PC or Mac via USB 3, and it allows you to bring in this example, this one, HDMI. There's also an SDI version, and there's a version that is HDMI 4K. Now, these are great capture devices. Now, I know AVIOs are a little more expensive than a lot of cheap HDMI or USB converters you can find out there, but I'm telling you, they're worth every penny. They're rugged, USB bus powered, and require no drivers at all. Open a program like Zoom, vMix, or Wirecast, and AVIO just shows up as a choice in the pull down. And we're going to go into some tips for using that a little bit later, but it's a great little capture device. We love it. Next, I'm going to go into some encoders that we sell. I know you guys have seen shows where we've done these. I have two different choices right here. This is a live view solo. We also have the Teradek Video Go, which I don't have any in stock to show you. This is a Matrox Monarch. There's a whole family of Matrox Monarchs encoders. But what I would talk about that I love about these so much is you may already have a camcorder or a video mixer switcher at your church or school. By adding an encoder, you can take that video signal out via HDMI or SDI, depending on which encoder you get, and have it go directly to Facebook, YouTube, or any other CDN, content delivery network, that you're working with. So it's a great way to deliver outstanding video quality with perfect audio sync. And another big advantage of the Live View Solo is you can also use it as a straight encoder that goes via Wi-Fi or wired, but you can also get cellular modems. And with these cellular modems, you can bond them through the cloud so that you can bring your bandwidth with you. That means even if your church is out in the sticks and you don't have good Wi-Fi, or maybe your school's in an area of town where the internet isn't wired so well, this allows you to get HD quality by bonding the signal from two different cell carriers together through the LiveView LRT cloud solution. So once again, we've done a bunch of shows on the LiveView Solo and the Matrox Monarch. By all means, watch them. They're really cool to see. And now we're going to go to the next technology tip. And this technology tip, I actually don't have something to show you, but I'm going to put these back anyway. This one's really big, folks. NewTek is the company that invented NDI, and NDI is an IP video format that allows you to produce videos using IP, so it's internet using Ethernet rather than SDI or HDMI cables. We've done a lot of shows on NDI, and in fact, next week I think we'll be doing a show on the state of NDI and how social distancing and NDI work so well together. But what I want to go into is that NewTek just released a new set of NDI apps and tools that allow you to use your iPhone as a camera wirelessly into almost any video app, including Zoom, vMix, OBS, Wirecast, Microsoft Teams, Skype, WebEx, and so much more. So we posted a video tutorial that the folks at NewTek put together that's really amazing. There's some steps involved, so you're going to have to put the app, you have to load the NDI app on your phone. You're also going to have to load an NDI viewer software on your computer. But it works. It's fantastic. We're playing with it ourselves, and it means that now, even though there's a worldwide shortage of webcams, you shouldn't worry about it. You can use your phone as a webcam with all those apps. The next tip we kind of gave you a hint at when we showed you the storage, and that is that we use Atomos field recorders to record our shows straight into ProRes at the highest resolution. And that's important because a lot of the streaming devices that you'll use to create your streams will either record at MPEG-4 compressed video, their own proprietary video image, but it's not the highest quality. ProRes really is great quality, and the beauty of ProRes is we record it onto the SSD drive that's attached to our Atomos Ninja. We actually use a Sumo in the studio, but you can also use the Shogun. And now you take that SSD, you pop the files directly into Adobe Premiere, FCPX, Media Composer, and you can edit the ProRes files natively. And it just saves a ton of time, and it makes your workflow so much faster because you don't have to transcode a thing. Cool. I'm going to scoot back again and get the next product, which I think is real important to talk about. This is a favorite of mine. The Epiphan Pearl Mini is a great solution for teachers, ministers, and corporate video producers. If you need to be able to do your show, to be on your show like I am, and run your show also, you need something that's convenient and made for that. And this appliance will do it. It's a 2-channel mixing, encoding, streaming, recording, and playback device. Once you set it up for your show, you can easily run the show, cutting between camera sources or a picture-in-picture preset from the built-in screen that you see right on the face of this unit. So we've done some shows where we've actually fired the Pearl up and shown you what the interface looks like. Definitely want to give that a look and see. But this is a great thing to do when you are expected to be the talent and the producer of the show. And in these days of social distancing, that might be your reality for your stream. Next thing I want to talk about is PTZ cameras. I've got one right here by PTZ Optics. And I just want to stress that we sell a whole wide variety of PTZ cameras from Panasonic, Bird Dog, PTZ Optics, and NewTek. It's amazing how much better it can make your production look when you use a PTZ camera. PTZ cameras do not require a camera operator, which means you can produce your videos less expensively with the same amount of people. And in these times of social distancing, the most important people in the room are the talent. So the teachers, ministers, trainers who are actually on camera. So if you're limited to how many people you can have in your studio or in your space because of social distancing laws with multiple PTZ cameras, it's as if you had cameramen, but you can operate the cameras. You can operate the cameras. Integrating a PTZ camera into your production is pretty easy. And with NDI, it becomes a lot easier, more powerful. But I just want to stress that, if you're in Wirecast Gear through NDI, you can control a PTZ camera, as can vMix, as can Wirecast software, as can TriCaches, of course. So using NDI and a powered switch, you not only get the video from the PTZ camera through a single gig E network cable, you can also control the camera, provide tally, and get PoE, power over Ethernet. So PTZ cameras, phenomenal, something I definitely recommend highly for anyone producing videos and having to stream. Next. If we could bring up the next slide, yeah, this is big, and that is that, a lot of people are asking us about Zoom. How can I integrate Zoom with the products you guys sell? I want to do a Zoom thing. How do I do it better? So let me start by saying you can integrate all of our products into Zoom or other video conferencing tools. There's 2 different ways to look at this. I'm going to use Zoom in my examples, but you can substitute Microsoft Teams, Skype, WebEx, what have you. I'm going to use Zoom because Zoom is right now the #1 dominant video conferencing solution being used by schools, by corporations, by churches, whoever wants to bring a bunch of people together and allow them to interact. So the first thing that we get requests for is people say, hey, I want to have a Zoom conference and I want to bring it out to Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, or another content delivery network, CDN. So why do people want to do this? You want to do this because you have an interactive discussion among your invited guests while broadcasting the discussion to your broader audience. Think about it as if you were to have a panel discussion at a trade show. Well, we can't do that because we can't have trade shows now. But you could bring in 4 or 5 guests to talk about whatever the subject may be. They can talk together. And meanwhile, your entire broader audience can be tuning into your Facebook or your YouTube or Vimeo page to see the whole streaming video of the interaction between the Zoom participants. So I'm going to talk about the easiest way to do this. The easiest way to do this is to run Zoom on one computer and feed the output from that computer into a second computer or streaming device. You can use a US capture device like the Epiphan AVIO, or you can even skip the hardware altogether and do it via NDI. Either way, not only does it let you broadcast the show, you can use your streaming solution to add graphics, lower thirds, transitions, effects, and other production values to your Zoom conference. So that's the first way. We're going to talk about now the second thing that people want to do with Zoom. This one's a little more complicated. I'm going to grab another sip of water. Pardon me. Okay. Bringing your multicam production into Zoom. Why would people want to do this? Because you want to stream your multicam show with an added level of interactivity and communication between your guests. This lets you combine the high value production quality of production with the interactivity and shared experience of Zoom. The easiest way to do this is to just output your show from your mixer via USB capture device or NDI and have it be your webcam for the Zoom. This works, but it limits the interactivity of the presenter in the Zoom conference. To get around this, we recommend the presenter also run Zoom on a laptop or device and participate in the Zoom discussion via the instance. So you'd actually be running two instances of Zoom, two times in Zoom. You would be in Zoom as yourself operating for the interactivity, but you'd also be in Zoom as the multi-camera production stream. So you're in there as the production stream and as a presenter. And for that, what you really need to do, the tech tip is you want to make sure you have an earpiece plugged into the device you're using as the presenter host. So you can hear and relate to your other guests. So to make these even more complicated, some people want to do both. And they want to live stream their Zoom conference while also using high quality production solution as part of the Zoom conference. And why do people want to do it? Quite frankly, because people just want to be able to do it all. It gets a lot trickier, and this may require multiple computers, each with specific tasks, and your bandwidth can quickly become an issue, as can your Wi-Fi and your own internal network. So why am I going to this quickly? Because we're going to do an entire show in a week or two of integrating Zoom and live streaming technology together. We're going to go into best practices, how to use NDI, when not to use NDI, with many more tips and tricks. And that's in a future show. And I think, can we bring up that future slide now, Adam? I think it's a good time to do that. All right, so here we go. Next week's show is going to be on remote guests. Now, we brought a remote guest into our show to Adam, who's producing the show in Farmingdale this week using Wirecast and Rendezvous. The next show, we're going to go into using Skype and Skype TX with New Tech TriCasters. We're going to go into Rendezvous. We're going to go into some other solutions that people are using, including Zoom, as a way to bring in remote guests. And then on April 7th, that's going to be our really big Zoom show. We're going to be introducing Videoguys Guide to Live Streaming with Zoom. We've reached out to all our vendors for their white papers, their videos, everything they have on the topic. We're going to pull it all together for you so that you can get all that information in one nice spot. So we're really excited about that show. We're really excited about the coming shows. Folks, I hope this show was informative for you and you learned a thing or two about video streaming and what you need to do. We tried to concentrate more on tips and tricks than specific products, but we understand you're looking for both. So we tried to provide you with both. So I want to thank everyone for turning into the show. We'll be back next week, Tuesday at 3 p.m. to talk about remote guests and other things as well. Adam, thank you very much. You did a great job on the show. How about bringing yourself in the window and giving us a little wave? Awesome. And I just want to thank you. If we can go to that last slide, we're about wrapping up the show. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning into this program, for watching our live streams. Today's show was Videoguys Tips for Getting Started with Live Streaming. And I think we covered a lot of cool tips of what you need. I think you'll find our top 5 tips very useful, very informative. And folks, please, we want your comments and feedback. Do you have some tips of your own that are really great for live streaming that you've learned over the years doing it? Let us know. Do you have some questions? Let us know. How do you get us those questions? Ask them on Facebook. Put it on Twitter. Send us an email. Post it in our chat group. Give us a call. We're getting all those questions together because we are still going to do our Ask the Video Guys show. So we want your feedback, your information. We want the show to be more interactive. We know on a remote level that's a lot trickier. So it's not going to be in real-time interactivity. But we do welcome your feedback because these shows are for you. We understand what's going on in the world. All of a sudden, a lot of you have been put in a space where you have to put streaming video together yesterday. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you, not only to give you the best advice on how to do it, but to give you great deals on the gear that you need to get it done and to make sure that all the gear you get works together properly. So this is Gary from Videoguys signing off for today's show. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.